So welcome back guys to another Flutter video, and today hopefully we finished building this app. Of course I'm going to try to leave some of the work for you guys. I think I've been doing so much of the work. Anyway, right, so we saw that the last time we don't have a way to actually end this, so this continues to do what? Grow, and then we get this error. Now there are several ways you could choose to end this. Now you could set up a way that when you get to the last question, then you should go to a different page and then display the quiz has ended and probably show the user's scores or something. Okay, I'm going to take a very simple approach because I like to keep things simple. Now what I'm going to do is we are going to use a cool alert. Actually it's called cool alert, to actually notify the user like something has happened at the end. So what we would simply do is I'll go to my browser, and it is called, now if you just type alert, you would find like there are a number of alerts. A Flutter point for showing native alert dialogs, and then you have our Flutter alerts. I think I've used this before. It's actually quite cool. So you have different kinds of alerts that you can use. It's also very simple to use, so you can see alert context and then .show, and then depending on the type of alert you want, you can go with that. Depends. It's all up to you. So this is one option. I think this is even way popular than what I want to use, so 98%. So the choice is yours. I'm going to go with cool alert, which is 95, and I don't know, I just like to be a little bit weird sometimes because I don't want to use what is so popular. Just try. But anyway, don't mind me. So let's go ahead and see how we can use this. So we already know that we can simply come here, copy this, so you know the deal. So for now, since I'm already here, what's the point of going to doing it all over? So I'll just copy this, so we can just click on this, and we can go back here, go to our pubspec.yaml. So let me show this guy. Why not opening? Come on. And then we can dump this in here, and then as usual, wait, what? There we go. Make sure you don't have dependencies in addition, and then we can pub get all these packages. So let's wait for that to finish, and then we can go ahead. Alright, so now that that is done, we are going to go ahead and rig this up to see how we can end this quiz, and then probably end this quiz tutorial. And I hope you're learning something. Okay, so the first thing we are going to do is we would go to our quiz controller, and then in our quiz controller we are going to write a function that actually checks to see whether our quiz is finished. You get the idea. So let me see. So inside here we need to create a function which is going to return a type bool, and as you know, with what do you call it, with a lot of things that was bool, we like to add s to it, so it's more like a question because we want to return a true or false. So it's ended or it's finished, whichever name you prefer. And then inside here we have to make a check to see whether the quiz is finished. So if the question number is equal to our questions dot length -1, like we did earlier, then we want to no, not that. I was actually typing we want to return true, else we want to return false. Okay, that is the idea, and I forgot to write my return here. We want to return false. I hope that's simple enough. If we've ended the quiz, meaning that this and that are the same, then we've reached the end, right? So program should end. And reached. So by returning true, it means we've reached the end, and else meaning that is false, meaning we've not reached the end. And then how then do we rig that up to work? So we would go back here, and basically all that we want to do is, in this our check answer, in the set state, we only want to do this part if what, our quiz hasn't ended, right? That is the main idea. We only want to do that part if the quiz hasn't ended, but if it has ended, we want to do something else. I hope that's very simple to understand. So actually what I can do is I can cut this, and then I'll say if, and I'll open our bracket here, and then say if our QC dot is ended. So if this is equal to true, meaning that it has ended, then what do we want to do? So let me bring this guy here. What do we want to do? And in the case that it hasn't ended, then this is where we bring in this part, else, and then let me paste this back in. I hope this makes simple sense. So if the quiz has ended, what do we want to do? Else, then we want to do this. So I don't even need this. Okay, I think I do, because I need to check whether the user answer is correct, then I go on. Yeah, so sometimes that's what happens, you fight with your brain. So I'm going to go in here, and then let's start working out this. So first things first, I'm going to call cool alert. So cool alert, and then dot show, I believe. So it says it doesn't know what cool alert is, so I need to import the package. And then dot show is also complaining because it needs a required property, it needs a context and a type. Okay, so if I add this context here is basically context again, because the context is, remember what I said, this particular widget we are in. And then I also need to provide the type. What is the type? So if I come in here and I type type, then I can provide, say, cool alert dot what do I want, success, something like that. I hope that's how you spell success. So I figured out my mistake, so all I had to add here was the type, cool alert type dot success. So actually, if I say cool alert dot this, so we have different kinds: loading, info, warning, success. So what I want is success. You can save that. Now if you aren't sure what's happening, okay, so it's still complaining about this, so let me actually rebuild that from scratch. So you can always check all these from the documentation. So if you check the readme, it will literally tell you like the various type and what's it requires. So type cool alert type, so there's success here, and you can see the various, so this success error. So as you're testing out, you can see. So that's how you can get to know more about those things. So let's play right now, and then let's just tap one thing, and then now you can see we have this showing up as success, quiz ended. Okay, so this is the idea that we have over there. Now another thing probably I would want to do is, if we have ended the quiz, I want to provide the option whether the user what do you call it, the user wants to play again. so that we bring the person back to question 1, or the user wants to quit, then we can take the user back to the start screen. Okay, so I'm going to implement that, and I would probably leave the rest to you guys. Maybe you can find a way of tracking the scores and display to the user the scores the user has had and things like that. So we would go ahead and fill up this. So it has a title property, and this takes a string, and you don't have to bring in text, so you can literally just do this, and then I would say quiz complete, and maybe 1 2 3, just like that. And then it has a property to also show cancel button, so I would show cancel button and say true. My dogs are going crazy. And then on cancel button tap, so when I tap the cancel button, what do I want to do? So this is where I would like to navigate the user back to the first page, if you understand. Okay, I want to send the user back to the first page. So we would rig that up very soon. Why do I keep this is happening again? And then on confirm button, so when I confirm, like whether I want to play again, or you get the idea, that kind of thing, then what do I also want to do? So I'm going to put that there, and I like to do this, I like the buttons to be below, so I'll come back here and start working on the other text. So the confirm button text is going to be play again, like this, and then the confirm button color is going to come from our app colors dot selected color. Okay, we are going to use that. And then the cancel button text is going to be quit, and that's just going to be all for that. For that, I'll leave it as the default color, or should make it red. I think I'll leave it like that. So now for us to be able to navigate back to the first page, it's going to be something a little bit new, different, but I'll still do it either way. Maybe whenever we get to routing, we might understand what was going on here. So if you just want to navigate out of a page, so let me actually save this, and then let's get this to start from the beginning. Let's see what we have. So let's just type this in. Let's go to the last question. So we have our quit here, and then we have this, and we have play again. Now all of these things wouldn't do anything because I haven't rigged them to do anything. I can click away. Okay, so if I wanted to pop this the usual way, on cancel button tab, then the way we get out of this specific page usually would be a navigator, if I can spell, dot pop. Very simple. This is just it. This is what we would have done. Okay, and then let me see, I think I have to not take a screenshot, but restart this from scratch, and then let's see. So let's do this, and that is on cancel button tab, right? And this is supposed to be the cancel button, but you say it's not working. It pops just the what do you call it, the dialog. Okay, it removes just the dialog, and that is all. But that's not what I need. Okay, that's not what I need. I need it to go back to here. Okay, and if I click place now, you see we have everything still there. So we need to find a way of resetting and fixing all of these things. So what we have to do is we would go to the, what do you call it? Is it the landing page earlier that we navigated to, and then we will make a change there. Okay, so we are going to make a change here. Now don't get confused, I hope you understood this earlier. Okay, we are going to add a slight thing here. So we are going to add something called settings, and then we are going to pass in route settings. So route settings, and then this route settings will just pass a name, and then we are giving this route like a name. So let's say landing page something. I don't know how to call it, landing page maybe. Okay, and that's the only thing we are going to add to this. So the name is just landing page. Okay, you can give it any name you want, first anything. Then I can come back to where have I gone back to? No, this is a quiz controller. I need to get back to the quiz page. Yeah, the quiz page. Now in the quiz page, what I want to do here is also alter this a little bit different. So after the context, okay, in fact we are not going to use pop, we are going to use a different one. We are going to say pop until, okay, and the context is going to be context, the route is going to be route, but we want it to pop until it reaches the route dot is first. Okay, the first route, come on, that is what we want to do. So pop until, remember I talked about navigation as it being like a stack. So remember, think about books. You have the first book, so that is the first book here would be this page, and now we place another book on top. So when we do a normal pop like before, it will just remove this first book, leaving this one for us to see. But because now we have this showing, this is now like another book on top of the two books already. So when we pop this, okay, it's already working, okay, but when we popped it initially, it just shows us this because we've removed that book already. Okay, you get the idea. So that is just one of the things there. Okay, so don't think so hard about it, but then just try to understand what is happening here. Now the next thing is, what if the user says I want to play again? Then we shouldn't send the user back to the beginning. We should start the user from question 1 again and make sure there's nothing here and all of the good stuff. So in that case, we can go with the regular navigator dot pop. So this one, we want to pop the dialog. So this will get rid of the dialog that shows up. And then what do we want to do? We have to reset, okay, the quiz controller. We want to reset the quiz controller. Now how do we reset this? Why do I keep saying we are resetting the quiz controller? So we are not resetting this, but we actually want to reset this value because we want to reset it to 0 so that it can pick the first question again. So in that case, we would have to create a new function in here that will reset it for us. Remember, we are trying to keep everything private here, and to do that is pretty very simple. This is just going to be void. We can call it reset. This wouldn't take anything, and in fact, if you are writing a function that is very small, okay, you don't have to actually bring this in here, and then we'll have to call question number, and then like we have to return question number. Like we don't have to do anything. You can actually simplify this using the fat arrow. Okay, so if your function is just tiny thing like this, then we can do something like this. So we want to grab question number and set it to 0, just like it was before. Okay, so now with this setup in here, we can come back to the quiz page, and then over here we can call qc.reset, and this would reset the question number back to 0, so that we'll be able to pick the what do you call it, so that we'll be able to pick the question number starting from 0 again and pick the first question. And then after that, we want to get out of the cool alert, and then we want to reset the scorekeeper or tracker, this guy, because it has these things. We have to empty it so that it's empty now and we don't have anything. And there's a very cool way of doing that. You can just call the score tracker again, and now I think let me see, we can use clear, just like this. We can use clear, remove all objects in this list, the length of the list becomes 0. Very simple. Okay, or you can also just set this to an empty list like this. This also works. So this is 0, it doesn't have anything. So we can test this out to see whether we've made progress or not. So actually, let me restart this from scratch, and then let's see. So let's play now. So this is false, true, 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 true. I'm just going to do this, get to the end. So quiz complete. Now if I say play again, you can see this is not our, is this our first question? I'm not sure. This is like the last question, right? So we're having a bit of a problem here. We are not getting it to go back to the first question. So how can we fix that? And then before we even fix that, let's see whether it will work for what do you call it, when we want to go back to the beginning. So if I hit true again, notice how it starts all over actually. So we'll fix that back very soon. And then let me hit quit. This actually works. And when I hit play now, it still comes back here. When I hit true, it is ending. Okay, notice that weird bug. If I hit play again, and then it continues. So there's a simple fix to this, and then that's what we're going to work on right now. Right, so the first thing we have to do is fix a mistake I made, and that is in the quiz controller. Now if we check, where is it? So right here, this should rather be when the question number is greater than or equal to, so that we account for that, not just equal to. So that is one fix. And then the other thing here is a mistake we made. So this should be else, and then we would have a bracket, and then the if comes in. Okay, so that's the reason why we are having that issue. So this is what I mean. So simply come to the else, okay, and then put a curly braces, get rid of the last one, this one, and then down here just put another one here. So this is what I should have done earlier. Okay, and of course I want to also have our reset here. So remember, we use the cool alert to show the pop-up or something, whatever that thing is called, the alert. And so when we cancel, we want to go back to the beginning, that is the home page. And so just to be safe, we could also put this here to make sure that we reset everything as we go back. And then if we confirm, and the confirm text is play again, meaning that we want to play the quiz, so we want to get rid of that dialog, and then we simply do what, reset everything. So we reset the quiz. So actually this isn't necessary, I believe. because once we get out of we are performing the same reset, so there's actually no need for that. So let me actually get rid of this, save this, and let's see if we fixed our issue. So let me reload this. Come on. Alright, so let's play and let's just get to the end and let's see. So quiz complete. Do I want to play again? Yes. And the Big Apple is the nickname, and so now we can check the question to figure out the first question. So the Big Apple, so that's working. So let's just mess this up quickly and let's quit, and then let's play again, and then we see we have everything working as it is supposed to. Okay, of course, if this shows, if I click anywhere outside, it will dismiss this dialog. Okay, so you can see how that works. So I'm going to leave it here, guys, and I think if you want to take this to another level, if you wanted to add your own things, so here are some suggestions. So what you can do is you can add some variables to keep track of the question numbers. So you would see question 1 of whatever the total number of questions are, and then you can also keep track of the correct answers and the wrong answers, so that at the end what you can do is you can, instead of quiz complete, you can show you got this number correct or something like that. So I'll leave that as a challenge for you to do, but on that note, we can say this is complete. And if you enjoyed this video, please leave a like, subscribe to the channel, and I'll see you in the next tutorial.